Hello, sad boys. How's it going? Welcome to my channel for the first time, probably the last time. This is Rainy Dog. Say hi to him. He is a good boy. This is sort of my reintroduction after a break, not from you, not because I needed a break, just because I was doing other stuff. What is my channel? My channel, I talk about music, and I want to make it clear that that's sort of what I feel comfortable talking about. And you might be thinking, like, who are you? What is going on in that brain of yours, Grace? Why are you a voice that we should listen to with opinions that should be thought about? And the truth is, as a side note, I just want to let all you guys know that I did set up a soundboard.
My tits stand up like the American flag.
It's things like that that need more recognition in this world. And that's what I'm trying to bring. A perspective that is only seen by me, through me, and maybe you'll listen and go, hey, sometimes I have those thoughts too, late at night when it's dark and there's no one else around. I can take comfort in knowing that some sad, depraved bitch across the world is talking about music. And today, I think we should start with a softball episode. I want to talk about cover songs. Cover songs are controversial and weird, but also cool and like awesome in a way. I want to talk about punk music through cover songs, what it can do, what it can't do. I'm going to do a good little countdown video because it's so easy. It's so easy. I just put number. I'm like, number 5.
Back in the day, I even saw the Dead Kennedys.
The first category I'm trying to cover with this number 5 slot, a cover song that not only transforms the original, but completely changes genres, giving it a burst of energy that the original didn't have. Maybe unveiling a new layer to the song, adding another contextualized emotional depth for the listeners to take away that maybe the original band didn't even have in mind when creating the song in the first place. I think when that happens, in the best case scenario, it's a great way to introduce you to music that came before your time through the lens of a band that may have consumed it from their childhoods and kind of their vision of how they take in music and what aspects of the music itself do they find worth keeping, worth ripping out, worth changing. And I think the best song to fully capture this is Joyce Manor's cover of Video Kill the Radio Star. Video Kill the Radio Star is a very fine pop song that was sort of making a commentary on the new uprising of music videos.
But them's the breaks.
So you have bands getting famous off MTV for a music video when really they don't have a catalog or the musical qualities to back it up. And what does Joyce Manor have to say about it? I think what's great about this song is you do feel kind of that like internal dread of music becoming more image-based, more commodified.
Look at this guy. Don't you want to be like him?
Doesn't he do like a look thing? At the time, you do have artists that are able to break through with a Come On Eileen or a Mexican Radio. Songs that shouldn't be pop hits, an oddity that is genuinely produced in a way to speak towards people and move them for whatever reason. I think Cake is really good about this. Oh, they have a cover of I Will Survive that is so like low key for the intense emotions that are felt in the original of I Will Survive, but then Cake makes it more of like a funny commentary about like modern day life and how like we're surviving complacency. Something that I think is distracted from this song. I like how punchy it is. I like how short it is. The whoa, oh, still hit in your brain. They're not trying to make it hooky. They're almost trying to de-hook the song. If you think about a song as like dressing, everything is just like sets appeal to it. When you add a hook, when you add a layer, when you add elements such as a sample or a loop, you're trying to make the package sexier on the production side. And all these things I genuinely respect when used appropriately. I think Joyce Manor is really good at just cutting to the bare bones of what the song is, what the song needs, and then doing it.
Fixing bars is easy. Fixing people is tough.
Now, our number 4 spot highlights something that I think is incredibly special to DIY music and something that's sort of gone by the wayside in the music scene. And that is the construction of a good split. Here you have 2 incredible bands, Marietta with Yaya Utah and Green Call Her Sins, and then Modern Baseball with 2 fucking bangers, Hope and It's Cold Out Here. Probably heard of Modern Baseball, buy it for that side, and then eventually you're gonna flip it over and listen to the Marietta side, and then bada boom, Marietta has sunk its hooks in you. DIY music presents a very special situation in which you are the owner and creator of your music, or the record labels themselves are independent enough that they are able to just trade artists when they want, that they can set up a recording booth, or maybe they share a recording booth to make an album that showcases the best of them and the best of them, and how that they can complement each other and contrast one another. And then there's a step further. These 2 artists are so passionate about each other's music that they decide to cover at least one of each other's songs, like the Bond the Music Industry / Laura Stevenson Good Enough split EP. The way Laura and Jeff even approach music is completely different. She's a soft indie queen that sings about like the saddest, quietest of moments. And he's a loud, in-your-face punk superstar that sings about everything and any disgusting feeling he's ever had. And when these 2 take their material and transform it, it really shines a light onto the writing styles of both of them and the strengths that they're able to bring to the music individually. So then later on a different Bond record, when you hear Laura doing guest vocals, you can hear them coming together. You can hear the synthesis of this split, of this harmony that they're able to create. And it's in that I feel a stronger connection to these bands. And I also feel a sense of community in that they're working together to support one another and share the music amongst new fans. There's another really good example of this in Newfound Glory and Dashboard Confessional covering each other's music. Though you will probably never be able to find it for sale, I wish record labels and bands nowadays had more flexibility to be able to share, split, cover, work together, feature one another.
I sold my blood. I sold my blood. Sing the fucking songs you told the world to sing. Sing it right.
I'm not gonna choose between the Laura track or the Jeff track, so I'm just gonna play all of them, and then you can hear how they're transformed and complemented by each other's styles.
But that's offensive to every douchebag I've ever met.
And if we please can stick on Bond the Music Industry, I do think it's important to note just Jeff's ability to write covers in the first place, whether it's Dishes or it's him covering Pike Place of Park Slope, a very sad Harvey Danger song about the sorrow of leaving Seattle for New York, something I will never do, would fucking never leave the city that I live outside of. Do you want to give special mention to the Bond the Music Industry split with El Pioneers, though they did not cover each other's songs, just 4 incredible tracks from each band individually. None of Jeff's covers truly transformed the material and made me see the original artist in a completely new light, covering fucking Run by Liz Phair. Liz Phair, if you only know her from... then you do not know Liz Phair. More of an edgy indie queen than you would suspect, and I have nothing but the highest respect for her. And the fact that Jeff could get all these individuals together to stand in front of a hot wall on a sunny day.
I can feel it in my bones. I'm gonna spend another night alone. Fucking run, fucking run. Even when I was 17.
My kids stand up like the American
On the flip side of the coin, I do want to talk about the Punk Goes series for a second, because if you're like me, if you grew up in the warped scene of the early 2000s, then these albums crossed your frame of reference probably somewhere around here, and then you lost interest directly after that. What I think these did best in the beginning was take bands that were relatively new or unknown or maybe just respected in their scenes themselves, put them on a compilation covering songs that they probably wouldn't cover or have been paired up with if they were choosing a song for themselves, but then pairing them up with these songs and having some truly interesting combinations happen. Emery covering Holding Out for a Hero, Thrice covering Send Me an Angel, Rufio doing Madonna's Like a Prayer. I will admit that they are directly responsible for the overcoverification of music, how every single band took whatever pop song they could find and just did a screamo hardcore cover of it. Sometimes I enjoy a good over my head cable car. Sometimes I enjoy a good Since You've Been Gone. I think A Day to Remember is also partially responsible for this. Where else will you get moments like AFI covering My Michelle?
You got it worse than porno, now that mom is not around. She used to love her heroin.
There's just like a dirtiness to it. I don't know. It does something interesting. And sure, 80% of it is trash and bullshit. But those couple of songs that have stuck with me as the definitive versions of these songs, I genuinely appreciate. But if we're being truly honest, the single best Punk Goes album was the American Wasteland soundtrack. Respected, seen screamo emo bands in the scene, contemporaries of those found in the Punk Goes, and in fact, a lot of the very same bands covering songs from artists that influenced them directly, making a soundtrack, a mediocre sequel to an awesome game series. I enjoy the no loading screens just like every young girl at the time. This soundtrack, however, was exactly the experiment that they needed. Alkaline Trio covering Wash Away, followed by Thursday covering Ever Fallen in Love, The Sounds of Liberty, followed by Buzzcock song with From Autumn to Ashes covering, I think that's a Minor Threat song, with Rise Against ending the album on a Fits Me cover from Black Flag. Rise Against already covering Nervous Breakdown, but this actually being a better fit for their musical talents. Not to mention My Chemical Romance take on Astro Zombies. If you were to ask Gracie, what is the single best cover combination musical marriage out of any of these compilations, the Punk Goes or the Tony Hawk's American, I'm gonna tell you, Taking Back Sundays, Suburban Home, and I Like Food, pinnacle of everything I want in music. It combines two songs. It flows so well with the energy that the original didn't have. Listen, I love the original. I'm no fucking faker. I respect Milo in this house. But I cannot listen to the original Suburban Home anymore without the expectation of I Like Food to directly follow it up. It is the sheer chaos that is Taking Back Sunday that was able to combine these two songs and fit it under 2 minutes, with Adam Lazar's reading of It's Time to Turn Dining Back into Eating being a definitive quote, meme, whatever the fuck you want to call it, just stuck in my dumb brain for all the time. For my money, this is the best one. So before we go any further, I think it is important to take two little quick detour, one on the positive side and one on the negative side. I noticed as I was recording this, actually, you know what? I noticed this before I recorded the first time, and now this is like my second time doing this video, so I noticed this hours ago. It is important to pay credit to the cover king. He's done a couple of covers, right? He did Gangster's Paradise. That went gross. This is Falling in Reverse. Ronnie, I don't know why he just doesn't go by like Ronnie Radke's Experience. This is him covering the coveted music classic. Someone's beeping outside. Give it a second.
Okay, good for you.
We're talking about Ronnie Radke covering the classic eternal song. I just like that word, eternal. It implies that the music, the art lives outside of the physical form that it inhabits. The lyrics and the musical melodies are just floating out in the particles of the universe, and somehow they got attached to the meteorite that crash landed on this big dumb rock, formed us, and it's somehow now sunk deep within the DNA fabric of our very beings. That's how I like to think of music, especially music by Papa Roach.
Cut my life into pieces. This
What's going on with the pearls over here? What the fuck? Hold on. Let me interpret it. As a leading Ronnie Radke expert, I would love to interpret what the fuck is happening here. Ronnie, in his mind, he thinks...
You have no reason to live!
Come on, goddamn it. You can't yell at me while I'm trying to speak here. The annoying thing is my soundboard right now, I could only program it to my number pad, and that changes the scene.
But them's the breaks.
Boris wants to go further in the song where
Okay, good for you.
Keith wants to go to the beginning. Boris keeps trying to take me to the end of the song, and I'm just trying to listen to the middle. I think what he's doing with the pearls is he's saying like, oh, you think you're opulent? You think you're fancy with your gold diamonds, your chains, your Bugattis, whatever you're fucking driving and shit? I am bringing the type of class and rich sophistication, dystopian, Victorian, futuristic wear that you only see in a Vampire Masquerade game. It's not about how flashy it is. It's about how like rare and opulent it is. Once you start getting to like the luxurious stylings of a New Jerseyan mom, or is it supposed to be like the complete opposite? They're so pure. He's covered in darkness and blackness, but the pearls are pure. I swear to fucking Christ, if Ronnie comes out as I don't know if it would be sincere, in the sense that I feel like he's just gonna be like, yo,
I'm the greatest rapper. I'm the greatest singer. I can do the hardest breakdowns. I can do the softest piano parts. I can do the best raps. No one can touch me. No one can be on my level. I can master all music, all genres. I can even master all genders. Nothing can stop me.
and this is why I'm putting him on the punk cover playlist. He is living his fucking dream. Let's be honest. If I had the power that Ronnie had, I probably would not make the same decisions that he makes, but that's also why he is successful and I am not. Also, I've never been to prison, but separate thing. I think part of my analysis of Ronnie really comes from the fact that I'm just jealous that he's living his truth. And I wish that I too could just have money to record whatever bullshit was on my mind and then force people to animate me in front of a green screen, you know? The fucking audacity. You got a little shimmer right there. Beautiful. Fallout Boys cover of Billy Joel, not the singer of Green Day. Billy Joel over here, the piano man. He made a song in the 80s. We didn't start the fire. Go. Newsworthy items from 1989 to 2023, because a lot of things have happened. Billy Joel, voice of our lifetime, not really. He made a couple of good pop songs, and he still makes pop songs to this day as the classics, like rock and feels like rock and roll to me. It's eternal, you know? Fallout Boy in 2023, with all of their wisdom, thought, hey,
Someone should really update that song. Some things have been happening.
it's up to Fallout Boy to update the youth of today on all the events that they may have missed. Because I know if you are a Gen Zer, then 1925 and 1995 feel like they happened in succession or congruently with one another. But Fall Out Boy doesn't have time for that. They're just gonna throw words at you. You're either gonna catch them or it's gonna pass you by. You know what? That's like life. That's kind of like life if you think about it. Fall Out Boy, they're not new to covering kind of old cringy songs. They did a Michael Jackson song and they'll do like 80s covers all the time. So we have some important things happening, you know? LA riots, kind of a result or in a response to Ronnie Keane. Look it up, important. Deep fakes, probably not on the same impact as that, but earthquakes do happen. Earthquakes happening, guys. Hey, guys. And maybe that's the point. Maybe you're supposed to go like, oh, I get what? Whoa, there's more than one? Wow, history repeats itself? Time is weird. I've never thought about this. I'm 12. Oklahoma bombing, serious shit, domestic terrorism, terrifying. Look it up. Kurt Cobain, influential singer of his time, was in a band called Nirvana. Look it up. Pokemon, I don't think anything bad happened with them, right? Tiger Woods, influential. And MySpace, guys. Do you remember MySpace? These are things that happen. When you put in the context of history, it really makes you think. And I'm wondering, did Fall Out Boy think at any time during this, like maybe they played a part in the tabloidification of the scene? How Pete Wentz's antics sort of fed into the publicization of personifying these scene stars beyond just like guys and bands, allowing some singers to maybe take advantage of their power and positions. I don't know. These are just questions. How do they think about themselves in the terms of history of rock music? And I think they've always had a weird thing about being a rock band and being part of rock history, which I guess they will be. They're a big band, so people will know about them. And I'm glad that it's shorter than the original, so there's probably like less events. Billy Joel cover like, I don't know, like pre-Mesopotamia to like 1989. Fall Out Boy has like a lot shorter time frame to deal with, so they don't need the full 5 minutes to do their song. I give them
Your mother has a sickness!
Oh, I am exhausted. We are about to get to our number one, but I just want to check in with you guys, see how you're doing.
Have you actually ever seen any punk bands?
So you don't need to question my credentials. Like, I'm punk in the sense that, like, I believe in a better world. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I am speaking towards one person and one person specifically, and that is me.
But them's the breaks.
Exactly. Boris, you just gotta live with it. All that being said, my number one favorite cover that encompasses everything I've been trying to talk about through this video, something that transforms the song, changes genres, introduces you to maybe a new musical styling that you haven't even thought about or considered, something that recontextualizes the original, makes you see the musicianship and the artistry behind the original in a new light, while also appreciating the interpretation brought by those covering it. Nothing encapsulates the togetherness and just like the incredible power that music has to be shared amongst people than what those goddamn idiots, a beautiful polka band, what they were able to do with Every Time I Die C++, buried in an Every Time I Die holiday special from 2019, where Every Time I Die tries to raise $69 to pay back their manager. At one point in this variety show documentary that has Every Time I Die performing music in a separate studio, but also doing sketches while also having cameo calls, out of nowhere, this pops up and completely just changes the tone.
I'm at the feet of your machines. Tell me anything at all.
And changes how I personally feel about music as a whole. And I personally want to share that joy to you.
The sun is out.
All right, so that was awesome. We made it through a second time more efficiently than the first, though you won't know that because you will only see this. I recorded through my webcam mic earlier and it sounded like shit. Check, how are we doing? Sad boys, everywhere. Hi. Straight up though, it sounded like straight fucking shit. I have this audio engineering here. No more half-assing it anymore. Grace is here to provide you the content with the production that you can come to expect from a DIY trans punk poster. So thank you for watching. Say goodbye to Ramy Dog. He's a good little boy. Okay, welcome to my channel. Cool. Sorry about everything you're gonna watch from me. Bye.